Morning, everyone. My name is Doug. How are we doing today?
We're good.
Prior to my speech, I would like you all to close your eyes and imagine that you're in a camp with barbed wire, vicious dogs, and guards with guns, and a hatred for Jews of any race that is not Aryan. Then imagine watching people, friends, family starve to death, gassed in chambers, or shot in mass shootings. And the whole time the world has no clue to what Hitler is doing to the Jews or his plan for world domination. In 1934, Hitler rose to power as supreme leader in a time when Germany was economically and politically unstable. Hitler and his National Socialist Party, Nazis, deceived the nation to further his plan for world domination. World War II started in 1939 with the invasion of Poland. 6 years of war, the conflict would take more lives and more land than any war in history. World War II and Hitler created the Cold War and brought racism to the forefront of the world. 40 to 60 million people were killed during World War II, and of that 6 million were Jews. Of them 6 million Jews, 1 million were children that died in Nazi concentration camps. That was about 3% of the population, world population, back in 1940. Example is 60 million people would be the state of Illinois, the state of Texas, and the state of California. And if you took 6 million Jews, it would be the state of Wisconsin. Hitler hated the Jews the most and considered them to be parasitic vermin. He also hated gypsies, homosexuals, people with mental and physical disabilities, Afro-German, and Soviet prisoners of war. 2 out of every 3 Jews living in Europe prior to the war were killed. The Nazis began by using mass shootings, then gas trucks, and then gas chambers, and finally using Zyklon gas to exterminate the undesirables. Example of some pictures of the Nazis, of the Jewish people, is one was starving. Here's one with the ovens. We have the gas truck, the gas chamber, the mass shootings, and here's an overcrowded Nazi prison. The Nazis hated and had a purpose, and that was to create an Aryan race or a Nordic race, which is a pure German blood. Hitler used many different methods of propaganda to incite and unite the German people to follow his plan of world domination. One was his public speaking. Hitler bewitched and promised them that the empire would last for 1,000 years, and he only wanted one race. The people needed someone to follow at the time due to the unstable country, and Hitler was their leader at the time, so they followed him, and Hitler took advantage of that weakness with the people at the present time to forego his plan of world domination. There were many different types of propaganda used, from public speaking to you can see, read, and hear only what I want you to, book burning, films that were controlled by the Nazi regime, organized rallies, and most of all, fear of bullying. The final solution, Hitler's final plan, was to exterminate all Jews. And this was done in stages. First stage was anti-Jewish legislation, then boycotts, then Aryanization, and finally the Night of the Broken Glass program. Different propagandas that Hitler was using to deceive the world of his mistreatment and his plan for world domination. Before I go further, this right here will show you of all the different countries and how many Jews were killed in these countries during that war. And as you can see, it's a lot of them. So, Hitler used many forms of propaganda to help win the German people over and to hide the genocide he was committing, from using films, books, rallies, illustrations, military force, and of course fear. Hitler would make films like The Eternal Jew, The Triumph of Will, the Festival of Beauty, and Festival of Nations. All these were films to promote the destruction of all Jews. Other films were made that shown the Jews in camps, playing, sports, gardening, anything to make it look good. In reality, that was a lie. It was a propaganda technique so the world would see that he was not mistreating the Jews at the present time. This was all leading to Hitler's plan for world domination. Hitler also had one other agenda on his plan, and that was the Olympics. And if anybody has known the Olympics of Jesse Owens, he pretty much took the Olympics back in 1939 or 40, whenever the Olympics were. that ruined Hitler's whole plan of dominance for the Olympics because it made him look like his country wasn't strong enough. That actually created an issue to where he wanted to eliminate Jesse Owens after the Olympics. He actually put a contract out for Jesse Owens to be killed. Now, Hitler's whole plan for world domination was not the world as most people think it was. It was only of Europe. He was going to dominate Europe, make his Aryan race, and by there he can start dominating the rest of the world. But the world domination that people know of is only world domination of Europe, not of the entire world. We as a world and society should have learned from the mistakes made by Germany and Hitler. And yet today we see the same racism and destruction in all other countries' conflicts today. In conclusion, Hitler was harmless by himself, but with millions of people listening and following him, made him and gave him the power he needed to run that country and create World War II. Without the German nation behind him, there would have been no Hitler. Hitler is a great example of how public speaking can influence the people and a nation as a whole. Some famous quotes by Adolf Hitler. One is, "Germany must be a world power or there is no Germany." His next famous quote is, "The existence and innocence of our race and nation, the purity of its blood, the freedom and independence of the fatherland, and the nation's ability to fulfill the mission appointed by Creator of this universe." I now have a video here of a concentration camp. Sorry about the sound, but it doesn't seem to work on this TV right. This is one of the most famous Nazi concentration camps in Germany at the time. As you can see by the people, how they look and how they were housed. And of course, how they were left to die and buried and pretty messed up, ain't it? As you can see, they were pretty heartless people at the time. And the video is a little bit graphic, so sorry about that, but I would like to thank you guys for listening to my speech today. And I would like you to have a good day. Thank you. Stop it.